Okay, I let him rest for just a minute or two, and during that time he was twitching his head and shaking and letting go little layers. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to come to the shoulder and do Hapuna Beach at the top of the scapula, and then I'm going to come down and lift the leg and do a little leg jiggle like I showed you. So, one hand at the front of the scapula. Can we have a back up just a little bit, just to get you a little bit more in line with the vision of the film? Thank you, sweetie. Yeah. So one hand at the front of the shoulder, the other hand at the back of the shoulder, and I just put my hands there and I go to the beach. And when I go to the beach, what I mean is that I imagine I'm standing in the shore at Hapuna Beach because it's my favorite place. And I feel the water rushing up. I like to have it rush up through my right hand, curl onto the shore through my left hand, and go back out again to the ocean through the right hand. So wave in, curl, wave out. Wave in, curl, wave out. He's beginning to spasm under my right hand. Wave in, curl, wave out. We have got a back spasm on this horse. Notice that he is already dropping his rear end here. He's beginning to release all along this left side. Going in, deep. Now it doesn't want to, the wave doesn't want to cross. It wants to come down to the magic spot. So let's go to the magic spot. You remember where that is. It's the bulgy area underneath your knee roll. And I'm going to keep my hand in the upper scapula, upper trapezius, on the head side. Wave in. Lot of crunchies under there. And I mean by that is like rocky beach. It's not a smooth sandy beach. It's a rocky beach under my hands with the water having to wash around through a lot of restricted material. And now it's beginning to swirl. And there are layers of restriction running above and underneath the scapula that are releasing right now. There. Still point. And with the still point, I am going to go to the pectoral. Like I showed you, we like to check the pectoral. So you put your hand over the big bulgy on the chest. Your other hand is on the magic spot, and you pour the power through from Hapuna Beach down into, back out again, down into, back out again. He does not have a spasm in his pectoral. That's not an issue for him. His restriction is the big bands of muscles in here. Okay, now you're all released on your rear end, so I'm not picking that front foot up yet, because why would I do that when I've got this as my opportunity? Oh, perhaps because he moved. All right. And I'll pick up that front foot. Remember, you hold it by the pastern, the fetlock, the other pastern, the fetlock. Shaky, shaky, shaky. Make sure that there's no flexion in the foot. Change hands so that your inside hand can go under and take the elbow, because this move is actually from the elbow. And I'm moving the scapula. I'm manipulating the scapula in circles, and I'm pulling down on it as I do it. I'm just asking the horse, how much release can you give me on that scapula? And I'm thinking a lot about his back muscles, where I know there's so much restriction. And his foot wants to come down. I'm just choosing a spot. I really don't care where the spot is. Yeah. So, Another thing I didn't teach you guys, but right where my fingers are here, that's where the I can't say the words. The muscle that runs from the hyoid bone down through the neck and inserts into the pectorals comes here. And we work the heck out of this muscle when we're asking the horse to soften into the bit and to hold the posture that we request. You know, the vertical nose, lifted shoulder posture that we request. The amoid takes a hit. And if your horse, if somebody's been, not you, if somebody's been heavy on the bit, this can get really sore. This horse is not sore here. We love that. If he had been, he would have been reacting to my touching it. Okay, sonny boy, you want me to get your other leg? Your other front leg? Okay, sonny boy? Yeah, Prince, you're a good boy, aren't you? Let's walk around so the nice people can see it. All right. So I'm going to do the whole routine again from beginning to end on this side. I'll start at the mouth. I'll bother his mouth. I'm just going to hook my finger because it's easiest and safest for me. And because he's got a lot of pull on it, I'm not going to try to remove my hand from the halter. Just for safety's sake, I'm just going to keep bothering, and that's all I'm doing. And when I say bothering, I mean I've hooked my finger into his cheek and I'm pulling the cheek toward me, which bothers him and creates the lick and the chew. But he licks and chews in such a way that he is releasing his own TMJ and is adjusting his hyoid bone. Right? Right. On the TMJ points, you've got the bony structure from the eye up to the ear. You've got the bony structure about 2 fingers away from it, and you softly let your finger lie on the tissue in between, exactly where your bridle lies. And I mean softly. I am not pressing with that finger. I am touching the fur. This side is way less reactive now. But there's our sleepies. As I get the sleepies, I'm going to put my hand over the whole joint, and I'm going to touch with a finger onto his face so I have the connection. And I'm just going to follow him as he moves. Now I'm going to come up to the forelock. Oh, I know. Remember, his head was sore. And it still is. He's got a headache. This time I'm just going to hold it. Super light. I'm not trying to do anything. I'm just trying to allow him to leave my hand there and get him to stop fussing. And now he's stopped fussing. And here comes his mom. This is very exciting. Oh. Actually, that wasn't his mom. Okay, so now I don't have anything happening, no more reactivity. I'm going to start around the ears, and I'm just feeling now to see if there's any place that he wants more. Way better than it was. Way better. Right there, amoid, hyoid junction. There is stuff there. Okay, there. Let's go ahead and do a light cervical lateral flexion on this side. Finger hooked under the halter. This finger lightly cupping the bone of the nose. And I wiggle without gripping. I'm basically moving my forearm in order to move his head. The main restrictions we found on the other side were at C1, C2. We still have those here. I blocked his movement just so we'd stay on camera. Normally I would have let him walk. And as I come down, I'm feeling my way through. It's getting way better on this side than it was on the other. I've moved my hand, I've gone to the back of my hand, coming down his neck, simply because that's the most comfortable position for my arm in this position, where my feet are. There's a bazillion ways to do it. It all depends on the ergodynamics of your position relative to the horse. The key thing is to stay soft. Now, as we get into the neck groove, I'm able to sink in. Yeah, I don't think you can see it because of the mane, but he is no longer aboard there. He may be aboard a horse, but he's not a board anymore. And there we go. I'm going to go deep in. There. Deep, deep, deep in at the top of the groove of the shoulder. And just let him process. Yeah, just let him process. There you go, Princey. Princey Pooh. Yeah, you're a good boy, aren't you? Yeah, you're a good boy. Yeah, you are. You're a good horse. Where are you going? Hey, sweetie. Come back. There you go. Okay, let's get that front leg done, huh? What do you say, Prince? Can you step up one for me? And ho, good boy. Okay, we're going to start with Hapuna Beach at the top of the shoulder. We just did a big release right here at the top of the shoulder.